Here we So hello, everyone. You've probably noticed that there's a quiet epidemic of capable women who look fine on the outside while carrying enormous pressure underneath it all. This channel exists to change that. I'm Sally DeCessory with Your Blissful Journey, and here we explore the conversations, tools, and perspectives helping women step out of survival mode and into a steadier way of living. So let's begin. Grab a friend, have a seat, and let's talk to Cindy. I'm so excited to have Cindy Dabrowski here today. She's a health and fitness coach who is passionate about helping women over who are over 40 years old feel strong, confident, and comfortable and in their bodies again. She has a bachelor's in science in nutrition and a master's in science in exercise science. And she brings this strong science background along with real world experience, supporting women through the challenges of weight loss and healthy aging. Her master's research explored how nutrition and physical activity influence body fat and where it is stored in the body. The knowledge that she now uses to help women better understand what actually works after 40 years old, because our bodies change. Cindy's approach is practical, supportive, and focused on long-term change. She believes in strength training. It's one of the most powerful tools for aging well, not just for the body, but for confidence and self-esteem. Her goal is simple: help women feel stronger, healthier, and more in control of their lives again. So, welcome, Cindy. I'm so excited to have you here. And you said something here um, when you sent this information that I really wanted to go into, the strength training. I've been reading more and more about it. One of the tests is if you can't get up off the floor, that is really, yeah, that's a dangerous level for us as aging population. So
Yeah.
I'm really glad to dive into this with you. So you might want to give us a little background on like who you are and how you got into this. Tell me a little bit about
All right. Well, I mean, you've said I have a background in education in this area, which started way back decades ago. Um, and I was teaching most of the time. So I taught college, I taught exercise physiology and human physiology to students who were studying massage therapy. And then I got into the community and did some, just workshops and seminars to the general public while I was raising kids. But we say education is power, and I do believe that, like knowledge is power. But what became obvious, and we probably all know, that knowledge is only powerful if you can implement it to make change. And teaching courses, I mean, I even developed a whole course that I taught weight loss and maintenance for life. Teaching it, instilling information isn't enough. And our world now is just so full of information. We can hit a button on our phone and get whatever information we want on a topic, but does that help us change? No. And usually, that's the part that people need support with is how do I actually make these changes for a length of time that they will stick? Because when we change a habit, it's not just the 90 days or whatever number we can put on it, like there was a 21-day to begin with. That's, a good start, but everybody's different, right? So I got into working individually with people so that I could help them actually make the change and help them change themselves, right? So that they really do change their identity in a way it's a transformation in the long run because they become a different person. They now have more control. They understand how to take control of what their brain is telling them. Everything starts in our brain. The messages that we tell ourselves, and our brain is there to keep us safe and comfortable, but that's not always in our best interest. And so knowing how to kind of take control of our thoughts or understand why our brain is wanting us to, sit down and have that snack in the evening every time. Like, where is that? Why is it comfort food? Like all those things, understanding that and then being able to stop it and take control is very empowering. And that's how change actually happens. It's a process, and that's what I enjoy being part of now. I went online in 2020 when everything else shut down. I actually became a personal trainer when I was 55 so that I could help people like one on one. But even then, you're with them for that session, but you're not with them the 24 hours of every day in between. So, what
Yeah.
I do now as an online health and fitness coach, people have access to me every day. Like if they have a question or a struggle, it's so easy to be in touch and to be, able to support people. Um, well, I shouldn't say around the clock, but every day, right? Like it's not
Right.
just a session.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so now I see people's progress, and that is so, I mean, a
Cool.
lot of my clients are very inspiring to me. I have an 88-year-old client who is very dedicated, and I've seen such change in her. But most of my clients are, in their 50s and 60s. But
Uh-huh.
it's very, very fulfilling for me to see the changes they make and the comments they give me about how their life is changing, how they feel different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very fulfilling, and that's why I'm doing what I do right now.
And I love that because one of the cornerstones of my business is integration. So you're absolutely right. You can learn it all in your head, but until you actually put what you've learned into action, nothing really changes.
Yeah.
So would you say that's what makes you different when it comes to other people who are, telling you how to eat, or do you like have a secret sauce that you'd like to share with us or
Well, I consider strength training the secret sauce. So there's a lot of weight loss coaches, there's a lot of weight loss products. Everything out there is to serve this need we have for weight loss, and a majority of the population is at any one given time trying to lose weight. But and they recycle over and over and over, right? So one thing I I can't say I stand against everything, but I am not a proponent of a diet. So if you can put a name to something, I don't advocate it.
Mm,
Um, I don't like restriction.
hmm
Although some people do need to restrict certain things, right? But we need to know what they need to restrict. And I always try to start with what do we need more of? Because I like to start with the foundation of a very healthy, well-functioning body. Because when we have a healthy, well-functioning body, it will do things for us that it might not be doing now. I have a very simple, like even just my 5-day healthy detox and blood sugar reset. It's a very simple 1 week program. I
Wow.
use it to kickstart my clients, but I also offer it as a one-off for, sometimes people get incredible results with weight loss, shrinking their waistline, reduced belly fat and bloat, and clearing brain fog, and all these
Yeah.
things that all these products promise. We can do that for ourselves just by cleaning out kind of the crap in our body, focusing on super nutritious, healthy food to improve our digestive tract, to improve our liver function, just get our bodies working the way they should,
Yeah.
and we'll balance our blood sugars. We can, get our hormones working properly. We can get more control of our sleep patterns and reduce stress. All those things can be done naturally. So that's what I focus on. I don't sell any products. I'm, not going to say that some people shouldn't use a product. And if they need to get that support, that's fine. I've worked with people who are taking GLP-1s medication from the doctor. I don't advocate all these new products coming out just off the shelf. They're not even FDA tested. Um,
Right.
they're actually specifically for research purposes only, but they're being sold to human beings just to
Mm,
take, like the world is really exploding with weight loss products and
right,
drugs and all kinds of things. So I sort of do stand against that, but not for every single person and situation,
right,
because there are people who do need and benefit from those things. But
right.
so what you asked me to begin with, the secret sauce is strength training, because
Yeah.
when people diet or they're going on a weight loss effort in whichever way, whether it's with GLP-1 or just restrictive dieting, they see the weight drop by looking at the scale, but what they don't see is what's happening inside their body. And with any kind of a weight loss uh, program that's restricting your calories, you're losing fat, but you're also losing muscle mass and sometimes bone density. People don't see that. They just see the scale going down and they're all excited. But when we
It's not
lose
the
our
whole
muscle,
story.
yeah,
Right.
when we lose our muscle mass, this is our engine. This is our fat burning engine. So our
Mm-hmm.
muscle is where our metabolism lives. And as we lose muscle mass, which is also a natural process of aging, so it becomes even more and more important as we get older, to build that muscle back so that our metabolism is working well. Our resting metabolic rate is how many calories we burn at rest. So that really accounts for the majority of calories we burn in a day is what we're burning when we're sleeping. But with less muscle mass, we burn less calories at
That,
rest, which means
right.
we have to work harder and harder to burn those calories in other ways, or continue to restrict our diet so that we're not bringing in the calories. And it's much harder to burn off calories than to restrict. So
Mm.
what I'm saying really is that diets are not a good long-term solution, because they're destroying good metabolically active tissue in our body that comes back to bite us after the fact, which is why dieting becomes harder and harder and weight loss becomes harder and harder as we get older.
Yeah, you heard it here, folks, right? It's like when it's counterintuitive, right? That I loved, well, it's not, but when you look at the scale, that's not the whole story. I loved how you said that. That just tells you that, I mean, we could be losing water weight too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I, one thing that this audience hears me say is eat food. It's real food you want to eat,
Yeah,
not something out of a
absolutely.
packet, not just as close to the earth as you can get it. But the what I kind of wanted to go back to was that when you kind of get yourself off of sugar, which is from what I have read is almost like crack cocaine, um, it's freeing for you to really be able to taste your food properly so it tastes better, so you'll make better choices. What else do you find when people get off sugar? What's some of the bigger things that they notice? Do they have like really, that's 5 days is fast, you know? Do they have like withdrawal type symptoms or what can they expect?
So, I also do a sugar detox. The- Uh, but
Yeah,
yes,
you
some
mentioned
people
that
are.
it's special. Yeah.
So what I mentioned is my healthy detox and blood sugar reset. So we're not just getting rid of sugar. It's not just like demonizing sugar in itself, but it is a focus on whole foods, eating
Mhm.
more of what we need. So lots of fruits and vegetables, less processed food, less refined food,
Yeah.
even like stimulants. If people want to stop drinking coffee, this is a good time to do it. But I recommend, if they're not going to stop drinking coffee, don't bother trying for 5 days, because it's just gonna, kind of mess with you. But when
Right.
people, not everybody is addicted to sugar, but there are people who are, and
Okay.
they have immense cravings for sugar. And it's like anything else, that we have this craving or like intense desire for. It's any type of addiction. So getting off of something like that, yes, I've done worked with people like that, and there are many people who will go through a type of withdrawal.
Hmm.
But when they get past, and it's just like, if you quit cigarettes or drugs or anything, you've got to get past that point where where your body is able to reestablish its own what do you call it?
Normal?
Yeah, the new normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they feel, yeah, it's just like their bloat can go away, their brain fog, especially they have more energy. A lot of people eat sugar for energy, and it's a very short-term burst of energy you get from eating, sugar or
Mhm.
energy drinks or anything, right? Because you
Right.
get your insulin spike, which is where your energy is, but then your body has to compensate for too much of that
Mm.
sugar in your blood. So then you get the crash your body tries to take care of it. And it usually overcompensates because it, floods
Because
up
it was
too much
such a big
insulin.
hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get
Oh,
away from those roller coaster rides that sugar was giving you, right? And you have a
right.
much more steady energy, less, afternoon slumps. And
Mhm.
people just tend to feel, I mean, I think for my focus is to really help people gain control of themselves and what they're doing. I think that's empowering to know that you have control and that you can enjoy the foods you love at certain times without being controlled by them, right? You can enjoy an
Yeah.
evening out. You can enjoy a festive dinner. You can enjoy having dessert without being controlled by it. So yeah, I like teaching people strategies to take control. And again, that comes to understanding how your brain works and why you're doing the things you are in the first place.
Yes, because we can be told time and again, but until it makes sense, until I mean, that's me in particular, till I hear the logic behind it, it's like, yeah, yeah, that's you telling me. Do you know?
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. So if you would give one person, one tip today, would it be, you have the power to do this, or what would your one tip be that you
You
could
know
share?
what? I would say this doesn't have to be overwhelming. I think a lot of people throw
Mm.
themselves into a new project or a new diet or, 75 hard or whatever, and they go all in. And then if they can't meet the requirements for a day, they throw in the towel. It's all or nothing, right? So my tip would say let's just get rid of that all or nothing mentality and take one step forward. Choose one thing that can move you forward. And I either go one of two directions. Either find the one thing that you know is going to make the biggest difference and give you a big win right off the bat, because that's going to really empower you and give you more self-motivation, or pick a very small thing that you know 100%
Mm.
confidence that you can do, and you build your confidence that way. So,
Yeah.
so whether it applies to your diet or your strength, let's take strength for instance. People don't know where to start, they don't know what to do, so they don't do anything. Just do one thing. It could only take 10 or 15 minutes, but just choose one thing to start with, put it on the calendar. It doesn't have to be every day, but it could be to create a pattern.
Yeah.
One simple thing, and just start there and just keep repeating it till it becomes more of you. And if you miss a day or if something doesn't go well, it does not matter. You can, you're not starting over, you're just continuing the next day. It's just a bump in the road. It doesn't have to be a blockade. So that
Yeah.
would be my tip.
It's just a bump in the road. It's not a blockade. Oh, that takes a lot of pressure off people. You just pick up where you left off and start all over again
Yeah.
because everybody needs a weekend, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes. That is fabulous. Pick one thing. Yeah, so often we start training for that marathon, right? Why not just train to walk around the block? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So right, we have lofty goals and get overwhelmed with that. So
Yeah.
when they do this one simple change on a consistent basis, what are the some of the celebrations that you've heard?
Mm.
I know, I love that 88-year-old lady.
Yes. Well, when I think about physical strength, it really does translate into emotional strength and emotional well-being. I think that's one of the main
Mm,
reasons that I stuck with strength training and activity because I saw the benefits for me to mental health and improved mood, and I'm just feeling good about myself again. And that's what I want for other women is for them to feel good about themselves again, um, to find themselves, right? We get so busy in life taking care of everybody else, our own care for ourselves gets put on the back burner. So when people start to refocus on their own health and fitness and well-being, what I see is, and like very quickly, is just a sense of happiness or joy in in that, right? I want the journey to be a good one. And I think when people have a guide or a mentor to help them through, it is easier and more enjoyable than trying to do it on your own. But I'm thinking about a client who just started this past month, and she was telling me how much energy she had, that she was so surprised that she felt so much more energy right away, and how much more easily she moves, that she's walking 3 flights of stairs at school and not feeling winded and having to stop in between, that she can feel that energy and endurance coming back so quickly, that she can bend over and, tie her shoes and clip her toenails much more easily than she used to. I mean, practical
Just
things, right?
right, right.
Just the ease of movement, the ease of feeling well physically and mentally. She
Mm,
says it doesn't matter. Well, she does want to lose weight and she does need to, but she says it's not as much about the weight loss right now. It's just about how much better I feel.
yeah.
And that's what excites me. That's what I want for people.
And I'm assuming she's a teacher. It sounds like she's a teacher.
No, she's actually just finishing her degree of social work, and she's doing
Oh.
a practicum, but she's in her late 40s.
Oh, well, cool for her. I
Yeah.
was just thinking if she was a teacher, just imagine if she's feeling better, the kids are noticing she's feeling better, so they're feeling better. The mood kind
Yeah.
of lifts around.
Yeah.
Well, more power to her and awesome for her. She's just got a lot of good changes going on in her life. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm
that's
happy,
a
happy we
fabulous.
connected. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fabulous story. And my posture just got better when I started thinking, yes, working out really does it. You just feel stronger in yourself. And how can that not have you more confident? And then
Yeah.
when you're more confident, people treat you differently, I,
Yeah.
I think.
And I
So,
think for me, it's people talk about a runner's high, and this is not what I'm talking about
yeah,
because there's a
yeah,
benefit to cardio. You have to push pretty hard to get that runner's high, but
mhm,
just having a well thought out strength training plan where you're meeting goals, right?
yeah,
And then you reach those goals and you can start progressing. That in itself
success.
is really motivating. And that's what kept me going is just reaching higher and higher goals for myself and seeing how I progressed and how
Yeah.
much more I could do. And that is a journey that just keeps giving, right?
It does.
Yeah.
There's actually that a hormone that right that clicks
Yes.
every time
Dopamine.
you check a box, right? It's like, yes, I
Yeah.
did
That's it.
that.
That's
Let's
it.
go for
Yeah.
more. I
Yeah.
love that, Cindy. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for sharing all this. And I know we've got some things, some resources, or one in particular that I'm going to post in the show notes. If you care to share about that, now you may. However, we can let our listeners be surprised.
Well, we're probably sharing my Stronger in 15 Minutes guide.
Okay,
And
sure.
yeah, just to get women over 40 started with a plan, it'll explain why muscle is so important as we get older and provide some simple exercises to get started. And if they want to get in touch with me for more help or information, there will be a place within that guide to do that. So I hope it's
Excellent.
helpful.
Super. I know it will be because this is something you made it sound doable
Doable. It should be doable.
wherever you are. And this is for people wherever they are.
Yeah.
Because at every stage in our lives, we have different needs. And going to somebody like Cindy who understands that every phase is a different phase, can help you get started when you're feeling frustrated.
And can
So
I just mention,
yeah,
you mentioned at the very beginning, people, not being able to get up off the floor. So it's not just about weight loss, it's about functional fitness. And I have worked with
yes.
people who would not go on the floor because they were afraid they wouldn't get up. And there are so many things that we can do without having to get up and down off the floor. So I do chair exercises with people. I use all kinds of different toys like bands and hand weights and different things we can do in their home. They don't have to go out to a gym and feel embarrassed with, strangers. They can do what they need to do with their own body, even just against a wall or from a chair, right? So there are a lot of options depending on the person.
Right. So it's available anytime if you've got a little bit of space, you can make your home your
Yeah,
gym.
yeah.
That's fabulous. So, wow, thanks so much, Cindy. This has been a wealth of information. You sound so
Well, that's
excited about
good.
what you do. That's really, what a good coach. So if
Great.
you're watching this conversation and it supported you, that is why this channel exists. So I'm sharing conversations with people like Cindy who help women feel steadier in all areas of their lives. So subscribe so you don't miss the next one. It might be exactly what you need. And share this with someone else because it may be what they need. And as always, we've got our disclaimer. It's for education and informational purposes and reflects our opinions as professionals. Participation in any of the practices discussed is voluntary. You're responsible for your own decisions and outcomes. So Your Blissful Journey and Sally DeCessory and Cindy
Thanks for having
Dabrowski.
me.
Yes. Thank you so, so much.
Yeah,
It's
thank
been a
you.
pleasure.